In the storied existence of humanity, we have overcome many trials and tribulations, and some we are still fighting to overcome. One such trial and tribulation we are fighting today is none other than discrimination. What is discrimination? Well, discrimination has many definitions, but we say discrimination is the unfair treatment of an individual or groups of people based on preconceived notions on their stereotypes of groups or categories that they fall into. Now, somebody will ask, why discrimination? It's simple, really. We chose discrimination because it is at the heart of every conflict in human civilization. We have religious discrimination,
gender discrimination, ethnic discrimination, discrimination against physical appearance,
discrimination based on political affiliation,
and among others. Let's take a look at religious discrimination. In today's world, religious discrimination is a prevalent issue that we must battle and fight for the simple reason that it creates fear. When you fear a thing, you hate it. And when you hate it, you stop at nothing to destroy it. Today, I'm here with
Hussein Power.
Good day, Hussein Power. I wanted to ask you, have you ever had any experience with discrimination with your religion or your faith?
Especially, you see, we as Muslim students, we face so many obstacles in both the society and the school or the educational aspects, because some of the people in the society don't actually understand or they have misinformation about my faith. So most of the things are there that I do, they kind of criticize it because they feel like, no, it's not right or it's not something that should be done. But that's my faith, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, that's true, it is your faith. But is there something that a personal experience like you can remember that has left you traumatized or is engraved in your mind?
Okay, so I don't consider it to be a trauma because I feel like, yeah, I'm a Muslim, that's what I'm supposed to do. Most of the time, people will see you, especially our dressing. Someone will say, this girl is always in abaya, it's always, though other people will say, oh, it's decent and all that. But someone will sit there and say, every day you are wearing this, like you don't feel heat, like you just, like a whole lot of experience. Sometimes you come and feel like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, are they trying to tell me that what I'm doing is bad or something? But there's misinformation somewhere that they don't really understand. So I feel like people out there who try to discriminate people or discriminate Muslims to be specific should try and understand.
There's something you would like to say for anybody who is going through an experience like your own?
So I would like to tell people who have had experiences from discrimination in relation to religion that they should stand firm and always defend themselves wherever they find themselves, because that's their faith. They should always believe in it, and yes, and that will go a long way to help them and make them a true Muslim as well.
Religious discrimination makes a person feel like they are less than human or less than what they are, simply because what they choose to believe in is different than what you or I or anybody else chooses to believe in. Religious discrimination is bad because it is simply wrong fundamentally. Therefore, each of us as human beings should endeavor to be better, to be more inclusive, more tolerant, and more understanding to one another. In this way, we can create a place of harmony for not only us, but future generations to come.
Okay, so another form of discrimination is gender discrimination or gender inequality. The problem we are facing today is that people see gender inequalities as issues pertaining to only women. However, this is not the case. Gender involves both male and female. So how these individuals are being treated unfairly or biased is termed as gender discrimination. Gender refers to the social, cultural, and personal characteristics that are being associated to a particular sex. If we are able to empower these genders, especially with the marginalized one, it helps them to move freely and also contribute to the development of the country. From research, reports, and studies, we have noticed that Ghana has moved forward from this gender discrimination, but still, it is going on in other parts of the country, whereby female adults are being denied access to education, with this perception that after they get married, they become housewives, and whatever they acquired in school become wasted. Let's take a throwback and go to the home econs department. How many males do we have at this department? With this perception that home econs a male course. We have some job opportunities that have been assigned to men traditionally, such as leadership positions, engineering and technology, construction and manufacturing. And it shouldn't be so. We also have some job opportunities that are given to ladies or females as well, traditionally, such as domestic work, health service, teaching. It shouldn't be so. We see this as unfair treatment and biased as well.
Reality and nature in unison has broadened our grasp of a lot of things in our modern day and age. Whenever we bear witness, as you can just see, the flowers behind me, you are able to notice that they are different in color, in height, or in maybe the way that they are structured. This is a similar thing that comes into the realm of Homo sapiens. As we live on this globe, there are certain continents, then we come to countries, then even to regions. But today I'll be focusing on what happens in our regions and which or what brings about a region. Ethnicity is simply defined as the simple language, the way of culture that unites a certain group of people. This is the definition in a summary. And ethnical discrimination, which brings about conflict, is when people have disputes concerning these situations. Like for example, in our country, Ghana, Central Ghanaians and the Eastern Ghanaians, they sometimes come into conflict because of certain stereotypes in certain beliefs of the past, what they had heard from their grandfathers, their ancestors. So this goes to show us that even ethnic discrimination is something that proceeds or that is able to sustain itself due to lineage. Their ancestry, they believe that their ancestors held higher power, or they view their ancestry in higher grace, in the sense that they feel their way of speaking is much more proficient and better, or shows a sense of greatness. And this kind of pride is what brings about the conflict, because they evaluate themselves to be higher than others, and this brings about prejudice, which at times spreads into the workshop, spreads into academic offices and many other places in our current nation. And as sad as this may sound, to you, it brings about a very harsh problem to the victims of these criticisms. Some feel depressed, some feel anxious about their stance. They feel a deprived sense of self or being. They are unable to express themselves in their language. Some going as far as to hide that they can even speak their very own native languages. Others growing up to change their last names because they feel that if they are to stand with what they were birthed with, what represents their culture, it will worry them in a very harsh way. These are majorly and highly some of the effects where we hear stereotypes about certain students, about certain workers, that yes, these kind of people are witches, are thieves, are noise makers, or are people who disrupt peace. But in the mercy of this all, we are hoping for a change in Ghana. We are hoping for a turnaround concerning our ethnical surroundings, that the Ashantis, that the Fantis, that whoever is a Guan, that whoever is an Ewe, that whoever is a Gan or a Northerner, may come together and find peace and bring about an end to ethnic discrimination in our generation.
I'll focus on discrimination based on physical attractiveness. And I'll say physical attractiveness discrimination refers to the unfair treatment against individuals based on their physical appearance. Discrimination based on physical appearance is one of the issues going on in our society, our place of work, and even in our relationship, which tends to lower our self-esteem and level of confidence. I would say examples of this physical attractiveness discrimination we face are based on our skin color, our height, or even our body stature.
Ebi mo mi a amaselen ebi nso mi a e o mo fe obi zo a fe le se ka na mi tuna e ne fe nko fo be bi o sa ba e this situation bi a o tu wi ra be bi a do ni panel wo ni na hwe on kwa we wan kana And sir, they are no more about that. That drive we are made. Now we want there, but like I said, we are on a color to 7. No man in town, no man can say want to me age. So, because let's say never. Also, wait to my the way I mean, you chicken. So, I also wait to my if you age to plan,
Rendo, in order to make society a safe place for individuals to live, some changes need to be done. In order to make society a safe place, some changes need to happen to make the society a fairer and a kinder place for every individual to live, regardless of their physical appearance. Thank you.
We move on to the next form of discrimination, which is discrimination based on political affiliation. This is such a growing concern in today's modern world, where political ideologies often dictate basic social interactions, employment opportunities, and even personal relationships. Yes, you heard that right. Discriminating against someone because of their political beliefs not only violates their right to freedom of expression, but also erodes the very foundation of democratic societies. Let me expose the damages of this on our society and suggest a way to mitigate it. Discrimination based on political viewpoints arises when people align themselves with a particular political ideology and grow biases against different and opposing viewpoints. This is made worse when social media exaggerates this and portray different political opinions as inherently wrong. This may stir up emotion and lead to violence down the line. One consequence of political discrimination is in the workplace, where employees can face prejudice, harassment, or even termination if their political viewpoints and beliefs do not align with the dominant narrative. This is weird, right? That's because it is. An individual's hard work and determination can come to an abrupt end because of their political viewpoints. This should be an end. And moving forward, we should counter political discrimination in society by introducing education on empathy and tolerance for different opinions. You will think that this should be a norm in a society where data can be exchanged easily with the help of these devices, as our phones, our tablets, even the televisions and the radios. But no. People running for office should be constructively criticized based on their personal achievements, their visions for the country, their plans, their history, and their background, not because of the political party they represent. This should be the new narrative moving forward. Thank you.